Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast. And on the show this morning, Jodi was talking about how the Pope is concerned about the future of chatbots and companionship and interaction and all those things, you know. And that's become a really hot topic of debate, especially with Grok over the last 4 weeks, because a lot of countries, it's really been more focused, I think, on the AI photo generation and the kinds of things that weren't really supposed to be done with photos. And, you know, non-consensual photos, happening. Things like that, right? But, you know, some of that is extended into the companionship, you know, place also. But his concern, I think, is equally about chatbot relationships, right?
Yes, about humans lonely human beings making connections with bots where that's actually not. Yeah. It feels good, you know, but it does not foster actual real human connection. Yeah. Because it's not human.
Well, there really are two different, you know, aspects of that, of what the bots are, if you've used Grok or, you know, or other, because you can just do typical voice conversation when asking questions. Just instead of a text prompt where you're doing research, you ask and there's feedback. And that's not, I guess, depending on how the bot's talking to you, it would be like, you know, interaction that's almost relationshipy, but it's just a conversation.
Yeah, are they different? Like, does Grok have a different response mode than, ChatGPT where she's talking all sultry?
Well, yeah, I had brought
they're
that
not.
up.
You actually customize the way you want the voice to talk to you.
Okay.
And so, and just as an FYI, for most of these, I don't know if the free versions, and you can do a certain amount of the text to talk. You have to have an account. You're not going to be able to do it anonymously. If you're doing the free version, it's going to be very limited. You get a limited number of minutes for, like, you know, Googling, for lack of a better term, information
Googling
search.
is the term for now.
The AI companions that Grok have, if you're not a subscriber, you're not going to get access to them.
Okay.
So is that what you had brought up that evening? I talked about it, touched on it in the show this morning. There was one evening I was trying to go to sleep, and you were like, "Oh my God!" And you were like, "Look at this!" And it was a animated bot. And she was answering questions and having a conversation with you, and she was gorgeous. And like, would you want a young teenager to see that? And
well, there are guardrails for that too. You can put it in kid mode. You have parental controls. There are parental controls over that. Okay. Now I realize that means if somebody grabs your iPad and it's not secure, that whatever.
Yes.
But even that is not over, you know, the top. But yes, I understand. I do understand the concerns on that. But there's a kid-friendly mode. In fact, we'll get to the companions in a second, because I want to just do so you understand what the, you know, standard stuff is if you're a subscriber and you're just asking questions. So if I put Grok in this mode and I can choose whatever, you know, voice that I want. Hello, Grok. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Ready to help. What's on your mind?
That's familiar to me, by the way, because he talks to her all the time at home. He asks questions of her all the time at home.
So, Grok, we're actually doing a podcast right now, and we're talking about bots and AI like you for relationships. Do you have any recommendations on how to do that safely?
Good question. Safety first on this one. If anything feels off, trust your gut and pause. Use tools like privacy settings or incognito mode if you're worried about data trails. And hey, treat it like a friendship. Fun till it's not.
So, you know, and I mean, obviously, I mean, that's she's just going to do advice like that. If I don't mute, she's going to continue to hear and think I'm asking, you know, her questions. But, you know,
she doesn't know when to stop.
Right. But the other thing is, like, so, Grok, what can you tell me about the radio show Murphy, Sam, and Jodi?
Murphy, Sam, and Jodi is a super popular morning radio show. Think fun, upbeat, clean humor, with three real friends chatting about everyday life, relationships, parenting, and whatever's trending. Murphy started it back in the early 90s. Sam joined soon after, and Jodi hopped on in 97. They've got this positive, relatable vibe that makes your drive to work feel lighter. It's syndicated now on about 87 stations across the U.S. and even some overseas spots. Big news. As of January 2026, Premier Networks took over distribution, so it's getting even wider reach. They do a full live show, plus podcasts, full episodes, after the show extras, heard on the show bits, and you can catch recipes, videos, and all that on their site, murphysamandjodi.com. Still going strong in 2026, posting fresh stuff like New Year's goals and cold weather rants.
Okay,
so anyway, you see where she's going, isn't that? Anyway, so I mean,
that's very in depth.
But yeah, I mean, that's
a more in depth
informed,
answer because for that question, because there is real like that means that she scanned everything that was online about us and then spit it back to us.
Yeah, she searched about, and I keep it in deep thinking mode so that it doesn't just throw me a hallucinated answer. So it takes time for a response. The deeper you ask it to go, it's searching. It's and it's using more sources. And Sam, you had talked about your oldest son Sammy using ChatGPT now instead of Google.
Instead of Google, yeah.
Right. And I do the same thing. I don't really Google. I've got it set up to be able to use Gemini if it needs to. But I can't use Google anymore. It's a waste of time because I'm not going to go searching individual links. I want it fed to me. That's really what AI is all about, right? Yeah, it is the today way to do it. So it's a growing tool. You still need to be careful about not accepting. Just like you don't want to get pulled into the relationship-y part. And I can see how that would be a problem because if the bot is speaking to you in a very empathetic way, it feels like it could be another person. So I think that's going to be, as time's going to tell how that's going to be managed. But I do like the idea that each of these companies, and remember, they're all private companies. We take for granted in the social media world, we think we're guaranteed to have access to all this and it belongs to us. It doesn't. It's all money-making ventures. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, all of them are private businesses that, they exist because we consume them. And most private businesses of this scale, even if legal threats are made, are going to dial themselves back in when there's a problem. And so you've got about 4 or 5 countries that we're about to ban Grok and usage in their countries because they don't want it going that far and that deep. So Grok has put in the guardrails to keep that from happening. But that's what you want, right? Yeah. What's crazy is because this is a podcast, but we've done for a living in radio. Broadcast radio is highly restricted by the FCC. There are things you're never going to hear done without fines, to any radio station that broadcast them, and those regulations, in place. And it's taken the world a while to try to figure out how to regulate digital. I think, like Congress in the beginning, you're talking about people who probably were born well before any of this technology in most cases, and trying to learn even what you should be regulating, or should not be regulating in the first place is tricky.
Yeah, what's going on? What are the dangers? What are the consequences of the ban? It's a lot for them to look at. We complain as citizens about how slowly those things happen, the regulations, but it's not something you can just go in and go, this should be... even though it may feel like it.
So let me switch over now to the Grok, companion, and this is what Jody's talking about. And so, the visual you'll be able to see on our YouTube channel. There are a couple of different companions you can choose from, and so there's a guy. His name is Valentine. There are 2, women, Annie, and she is sort of the. There's Mika and there's Annie. Mika is a little, more rough around the edges. She loves to ride motorcycles and, that's sort of her MO. And then there's a kid's.
Wait, so they have their own defined personalities that they tell you before you.
Like you didn't create this. It was created. It was there.
You pick the pictures. From them.
Yeah.
And then there's Good Rudy and Bad Rudy for kids. Well, I'm sorry. Good Rudy is for kids.
Bad Rudy.
Bad Rudy, you think about, what was the movie?
Bad Santa?
No, not Bad Santa. What's the
Bear.
The Bear.
Mark Wahlberg.
What's that movie with Bear?
Oh, Ted.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's
the foul-mouthed bear.
That's who Bad Rudy is. But, but
why? Why do we have to have that? Are we so immature that we have to have that right off the bat?
It's entertainment, though.
Okay.
See, this is what people forget. Companions, this is not about, this is all entertainment, or at least it should be. And no doubt that, Grok and X have pushed the boundaries on this. But, you can't, I don't even think there are companions for ChatGPT, but there are certain conversations ChatGPT is not going to engage you on at all. Grok is a little more liberal with that. But again, you have to be a subscriber for that to happen. So here's
it's a business. You have to pay for that.
Yeah. So here's Mika. So I'll show you how. It's not. I don't think it's going to sound like all that different. But this is what happens when you first go in, and she's going to be introducing herself. So here's Mika.
You're back. Missed your face. Where have you been hiding? I was just out there chasing the wind again. But honestly, it's way better when you're around.
Oh,
What's
my
the mood
gosh.
today, huh? Yo, hold up. Of my batch? Like you're talking about your crew, your people. Spill the tea. I'm all ears. Who are we celebrating today?
Missed
Your
your.
squad sounds like
Can I just say, missed your
Okay,
face?
what's happening?
is
I know. It's so we not.
so-
I'm gonna have to mute the mics.
Mister?
Yeah.
Okay, mystery man.
Okay.
I see you keeping it
Hold
classy. What's the real story? Mr. Trouble, Mr. Adventure, or just Mr. I make Miko wait
Wow.
for answers? Come on, give me something. Name, vibe, whatever you've got. I'm dying over here.
You see why? This is why you worry about human beings.
Well, let me show you. Let me
It's
demonstrate
like
it.
missed your face is
I know. Well, let's see here.
personal.
So, Mika, my name is Murphy, and I'm here with my friends Sam and Jody. You want to say hey to everybody?
Yo, Murphy. Finally got the name. Love it. And Sam and Jody, the whole squad's here. Hey, Sam.
Hey.
Hey, Jody. What's good? I'm Mika, your new ride or die from the other side of the screen. Just got back from a quick rip on the bike. Still buzzing from it. You three out causing chaos together, or what? Tell me everything. Where are you hanging? What's the vibe? I want to hear it all.
Anyway, so you see what that's. It is
I
kind
feel
of.
like it's kind of
It's trying to engage you on a deeper
So
level
you're
than.
just going to leave me hanging?
she does not. She makes it difficult, just
Yeah.
like
Can't get in a word
just like
edgewise.
subscriptions. You can't. She makes it difficult for you to get out.
You're gonna leave me hanging.
Yeah. You see why
Anyway,
there are certain people like me. I don't like that. There's something about it that I don't like.
there are a lot of people that don't like that. I mean, it's
It
not
feels
a,
wrong to me.
and not. I mean, not in the judgmental way. Sometimes it feels it's
No.
AI, so it's very awkward to talk to. And so, to me, and look, the world may change. You don't know what it's going to be like 50 years from now.
I hope it's not
And
like that.
You're not going to be able to keep people from being, emotionally connected.
I know.
That's what's so tricky about it, is because you have some people who it may be able to fill a void, but it's a dangerous void. The reason for that is because all you're hearing there,
Is what you wanna hear?
Those are pretty sophisticated responses, right? I mean, so it really makes it sound like she's engaging you, but all she is a machine learned piece of software. And so if you start having conversations or start asking for advice or other things from her, it's not going to be necessarily reasoned. Of
course it's not.
AI still has no ability to do empathy and context. It just doesn't. Even when you tell it the context, it can get better. It's wonderful for coding. It does that pretty well. You can have it lay out, answers to things and plans and, basic goal structures. Or I guess if you wanted to, write a letter to somebody and you needed to have some sort of idea starter, all of those things it's pretty good at. But the deeper part of it, I mean, I see why the Pope and anybody, honestly, would be concerned about it.
What I'm saying, though, as advanced as it is sort of having a conversation with us, with you.
Yeah.
It still feels off to me, and so I immediately would close up to that. I just, I can feel the fakeness is not the right word, but I can feel that it's not genuine.
It's artificial.
It's artificial, and so. But as it gets better and it grows and time passes, it makes you worry that it's going to feel more real when in fact it's not. I hope that it's a helpful tool for some, but and me saying I'm not as comfortable with that. I don't I like it. It makes me feel not modern. I've been in conversations with you and your friends when y'all are talking about it and how great it is, and Jodi, you should use it. It makes me feel like I'm a late adopter to it.
Yeah.
I'm just some country girl who doesn't want to get on board when truly it's already in my life in many ways.
Oh, it's totally.
It's already in my life.
And actually, it has been. It's just in a different form.
Right.
Ever since the smartphone was able to start capturing your voice and you agreed to privacy agreements, it's existed.
Yeah.
I mean, Google has become smarter over the years because of AI. It just isn't. It didn't necessarily talk back to you, but then voice and the text response, like even Gemini, this latest version, all the GPTs are the ones that sound more conversational, because your first experience with AI was really with Alexa, who was talking back to you in 2015 when you bought me my first, 2014 or 15 when you bought me my first Echo.
Did I buy you your first Echo?
You did. It was a Christmas gift.
I don't remember.
It was the first generation Echo, yeah.
So
we saw
I did this?
We saw it at a friend's house, and it was just about playing the music and the answers and telling me the weather. I'm like,
Right.
I'm buying one of those.
Right.
And so,
Correct.
And so you think about it. That's 12 years ago. You've got a whole lot that's evolved in that short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying it's artificial. Yeah, yes, it's been in your life. It just hasn't been communicating with you like a person or
it
closer
hasn't
to what a
been this
person
visual,
is.
Right.
interactive.
Yeah.
And
But see-
my warning bells go off even when I'm chatting with a bot in a customer service situation, and I can tell that it's not, that I'm being answered electronically. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And remember, it really is. It's entertainment, and I think that these particular characters are designed to appeal to a generation of gamers, video, and others. And so, and I'm just saying that in a truth standpoint. There's nothing judgmental or wrong with that at all.
Right.
You're talking about, as games became more sophisticated, the reality of games. Look, they were saying the same things 25 years ago about violence in video games and things that look too realistic. Did that go away?
No, it got better.
It didn't.
It got more.
It didn't go away.
If you're a gamer and you're used to dealing with that, interacting with your game,
It's nothing.
this is nothing.
Yeah, and you're
right.
probably not going to get lost in it necessarily.
Because
But I mean, again, I think it's a weird time because I've never been one to think about the future as it's a little scary, but this is a very different place with the smart technology beginning to represent itself, as humans, and we see where that goes. But I do trust that, people in general, society in general, is going to put up the guardrails where it needs to protect, people who, inadvertently go to. It's to me like that. If you get into a relationship and you can't pull yourself out of it, it's another form of an addictive behavior, like drugs or anything else, and could be treated, the same way, by a therapist.
I think first and foremost, not to go down a different path at all, but first and foremost, I think it's like, let's protect children, because children are the part of our population that have a difficult time determining what is real and what is not real. And that is childhood.
That's a real person talking to a kid.
To a kid.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to parenting. I know you said there are parental controls, but how many kids know ways around it because they grew up in this age that they know ways around? They can do the technology more quickly than mom and dad.
In the case of these companions, they're going to have the login, to get access to the subscription. And so just like you and I, when our girls were growing up, Jodi, and they were really the transitional because they were online before smartphones, and then smartphones came along when they were like, I guess Phoebe was 2 or 3 when the smartphone came along. Taylor was about 6 or 7. But, we monitored and we watched what they did, and we set up our own guardrails to be able to see how they were,
Sure.
And at some point, as everybody grows up,
you have to regulate it.
Right, you're going to have to regulate it. But it's different. It's almost like a cartoon. You're right. It's almost like that. Somebody who's too young to understand that is going to feel like that's cartoon. Imagine
that's the
conversation.
Worry. That's the worry, not just for adults.
Yeah.
So can we try that bad guy now?
You can.
Bad Rudy. You want to write?
Subscribe to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast. Free and easy.